I've shared strategies and systems with so many landlords and clients, which has assisted many to win in this climate without having to sell off their portfolio or having to give up their dream of leaving a legacy to their children. And today, I'm going to teach you how to do the same thing too. The first step on how best to invest in property this year is fix your current portfolio. Now, this may sound like you're taking a step back. However, all great buildings are placed on great foundations, which is why this first step is essential. When this is done properly, you will have the peace of mind that your property portfolio has no holes in its pocket. This will ultimately help you make more money when you do go on to do the other steps I'm going to outline here. Now, the problem is that most property landlords have no formal training nor real support on their portfolio building journey. And as a result, they are very unaware just how damaging a faulty portfolio can actually be. Such a portfolio can make all the difference between you increasing your cash flow with your next property asset by £1,000 per month versus that same £1,000 being instantly used to pay off the liability of other not so well performing properties in your portfolio. What most people attempt when trying to fix their property portfolio is throwing more money at the underperforming properties, or even worse, selling the properties they think are losing them money. So here is how you actually fix your portfolio. Simply conduct a portfolio audit. Go through your whole portfolio on paper and clearly look at what is and is not generating you real money. Using a little bit of your time, you should quickly be able to see where the holes are in the portfolio and how they may have been caused also. Now, armed with your audit, you are now ready to make strategic changes instead of just throwing money at the problem aimlessly or selling off the property hastily. If we take a look at this example, we get to see exactly what this might actually look like for you. Here's how a portfolio of 4 properties, which on paper look to be poorly performing, can be fixed by a simple change in a product. If we take a look at this portfolio of 4 properties, we can see with this revenue of income from each property, with these outgoings from each property, generating this revenue from each property, it's clear to see that this particular property is radically underperforming. Now, if we look at all of these properties in terms of their portfolio, we can gather very quickly that this particular property is going to end up shouldering the burden on all of the other properties. If a boiler breaks in any of these properties, that's going to cost in between £1,000 to £2,000, and this property alone is not going to be able to pay for its own repairs. This property, as well as this property, are also going to struggle to do the exact same thing, which puts more burden on this single property right here. Now, a single change in a product, for example, a new mortgage product at a better interest percentage rate, could result in this expense radically reducing. Now, if that expense was to reduce, we could end up with a situation where we go from £820 to something like £620, which now brings up what we're doing with this specific property from £80 to £280. It's not life-changing, but it's a better predicament than it was before. Moving on to the next step, and that is find your sweet spot. Now, this is where the real action starts. Without identifying your sweet spot in terms of the goldmine area, the specific revenue type, and the approach to achieving that revenue, the next 12 months of your property activity could be a waste of time. When you get this right, you get to invest all of your property investing time working on what truly works for you and not just what some guru told you to do. Peace of mind and alignment happens at this step here. On the other hand, landlords that don't get this right end up wasting lots of time and having many false starts. Now, this waste of time is a byproduct of speaking with many agents and viewing many properties, thinking something is a deal, and then discovering regularly that it is not. You see, the mistake many are making in their attempts to find their sweet spot is buying properties further afield from where they actually live, as well as not growing their understanding of other approaches to making returns from property. property. Now, this actually makes this step so much harder later down the line for those who actually do this. So to find your unique sweet spot, you simply appreciate that you are unique and stop looking for off-the-shelf solutions to your property success. Then you look at these 3 key areas. The first one being location. Where exactly do you desire to invest? The second one being your desired approach. How exactly do you desire to generate money in property? And then the last one being effectively the type of money you plan to make in property. This makes a cool Venn diagram to help you use this visually. So for location, are you going to be focused on the local market, the national market, or even in certain cases, the international market? For desired approach, will you be outsourcing it all, or doing it all yourself? Then the type of money. Will you focus on equity, or will you focus on profits? For a video breakdown on this, I'll pin the card to the video titled Why Most Investors Fail, so you know all the types of money that there are. This then presents the sweet spot where you are going to make the most progress simply because it aligns to your true desire. If you take a minute and imagine what it looks like for a landlord who has not created alignment in these areas, it becomes simple to see why so many can fail in the next 12 months. For those without this alignment, they'll have some properties near and some properties far. They'll have some properties making them £100 per month and others making them £800 per month. And this is why finding your sweet spot is crucial. Now, before the next step, if you want to discover more about finding your sweet spot, then click the link I'll leave in my description box and the comment section below, because I have a free mini training that will dive deeper into how to discover the 5 property pitfalls that prevent people from getting this done. Now, this mini training will walk you through each of the major mistakes me and many of my students have faced in the past. Again, make sure you click the link in my description box and comment section below. Now, with that out of the way, let's move on to the next step on how to best invest in the next 12 months. Step 3 is to focus on cash flow, which actually helps you to complete 1/3 of that Venn diagram before you've even finished this video. Now, when this becomes your focus, you will have the opportunity to replace your employment income, hit your monthly revenue target, and literally live on your own terms in the here and now. Now, a major problem is that most landlords do not focus on cash flow and instead focus on equity, which is a hope game. This leaves them to buy properties in hope that one day the price of the property will go up and then they'll be able to make money from a sell or a remortgage or some other gamble. Now, although property prices do tend to go up, many landlords have believed the myth that property prices only go up, which has led many to mistakenly buy in areas with no positive projected growth, or worse, buy properties with very minimal cash flow potential in hope that they will make the shortfall up with other properties. Now, focusing on cash flow means when you are looking at a property, the cash flow potential is the main measure of whether this property is or is not of interest for you. Now, the amount of time this gives you back is immense, as you can now take 2 minutes to see that a property generating you £100 per month is worthless to you compared to another generating you £700 per month. It's using this step alone, which is exactly how many of our students have created monthly incomes from as little as £2,500 per month to as much as £35,000 per month and beyond. Now, what this could look like for you is, rather than you buying properties which give you a couple of hundred per month, which keeps you frustrated with the changes in interest rates, inflation, and instability in the market, you could ensure that less is more and buy a single property cash flowing you £1,000 per month again and again and again. Now, at this point of this video, you might be wondering which specific strategies are best for you to use to get ahead with property this year. That's why your next step is to watch these property income ideas that you can actually use, where I'll teach you how to get the best strategy for you to win. Thanks for watching this video. Remember that small keys open big doors, and I'll see you on the next one.